Hi guys, today I am going to be showing you how I protect my hair at night to protect it and cut down on refresh time and generally make your life a little bit easier. Now, the reason why curly girls protect their hair overnight is the benefits to protecting your hair if you don't already, depending on how you do it. So for example, if you just slept on a satin pillowcase, that would still make a big difference because it's a tighter weave than a normal cotton pillowcase. So as a result, your curls aren't going to snag in the little microscopic sort of gaps between the weave. So it's a lot smoother, it's a lot less sort of scrubby on your hair. So if you don't want to faff around with putting your hair up at night, but you still want to look at having sort of some sort of protection on your hair, I would recommend looking at getting a satin pillowcase to start. Ran out of breath there. If you are lazy like me, and so you style your hair at night and it's in a cast, the hard crunchy shell that forms, if you protect your curls while they sleep, it's a lot more gentle sort of scrunching out the crunch. I'm trying to word it so it's not gibberish, so bear with me. So, for example, I put my hair in a satin scarf to sleep. If I just had my hair down on the satin pillowcase with my cast, yes, it's more gentle than a normal pillowcase, but my hair is still crazy. It's still got the potential to sort of go a bit mad. However, if I sleep with my hair wrapped up in a satin scarf, it keeps my hair where it is, it preserves the curl pattern, but it gently scrunches out that cast, that hard crunchy shell overnight. I hope that made sense. The other sort of unexpected perk that I found to protecting my hair, not so much now my hair's shorter, but when my hair was down to my waist, if I didn't bother protecting my hair, my husband would roll over and squash my hair and pull it in his sleep. So if you have an annoying bed partner like me who likes to roll over and pull your hair, putting it up in a buff pineapple scarf, that if nothing else, it will stop your partner from rolling over in their sleep and lying on your hair. Before I get to how I protect my hair currently, I am gonna just talk quickly about some of the other ways of protecting your hair. I'm sorry I keep touching my face as well. I've got these odd little strands of hair that just keep going across my eyes. Anyway, the first thing I started doing when I went curly was I ditched my cotton pillowcase and I now sleep on a silver satin one that you might have seen in my previous sort of sleep hair protection video. I immediately noticed a difference in that. And then what I started doing was I put my hair in a pineapple or willow, whatever you want to call it. I have these springy telephone wire hair ties that I use. So, do you know what? I wasn't going to do any demos for this bit, but I might as well. So, flip my head upside down. And then just scoop my hair all to the front of my hairline. And then loop the hair tie around once. So this is how I used to sleep with my hair on with my head on a satin pillowcase, and I found this not only helped with volume because obviously you're sleeping with your hair up, but it protected these little curls at the nape of my neck because they weren't rubbing against each other so much. They were just rubbing against the pillowcase when I was sort of fidgeting in my sleep. So this was sort of the first level of sleep protection. I then looked at getting a bonnet because I have seen good things about it. So this is what I used past tense. It was about £4 on Amazon, I think. But the only thing is this is how big the sort of head hole is. I have got quite a big head, and particularly when my hair was longer, I really struggled with this. It was too tight. I would wake up with sort of grooves here, and it just kept slipping up the back of my neck. So I'm not a big fan of the satin nightcap, but I know you can get bigger ones. So I don't know if that's something I would need to explore if I decide to give this another go. But that's not to say that bonnets don't work. Like, I know a lot of curly girl people on Facebook and the like, they do use bonnets and nightcaps and that. It just didn't work for me. I then moved on to what's called a buff. That's a cylindrical piece of fabric. It was just, I think, just normal cotton material. I cannot find my buffs. I have two in this room somewhere. I think I might have given one to my little girl to play with. I've got no clue where the other one is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put here, while I'm talking about buffs, a reel of me using it. This was back sort of around Christmas time, so you guys might have seen that. So I put my hair up in the pineapple willow, whatever you want to call it, like you saw just now. Put the buff over my neck, so it's like a sort of necklace, and then I just pull it up so my hair is up inside. It's very fetching, and that is how I would sleep. Now the downside to that is my ends of my hair would either flop down into my face, or no matter how often I sort of shook my hair down into the buff and then tied it to make a sort of nightcap, it would either just slip off my head overnight or my hair would get caught up in the little knot, or both. So I just, more often than not, I just kept it up sort of loose as opposed to tying it. But I just every morning it would be sort of halfway up my head. Sometimes it would come off altogether. So that is why I started toying with a satin scarf. Then I was given this beauty, I think it was this Christmas, I was given this huge one. So I've used that a few times and pretty much fell in love. So I am now going to show you guys, before my phone runs out of storage, how I protect my hair using a satin scarf. I'm not quite sure why I'm sat on my bed for this. I think it's just because I'm tired, as you can see. So I'm now going to show you guys how I protect my hair while I sleep. Now, depending on my mood, I will either use my velvet scrunchie that I was gifted by Imbue, or one of these little springy invisible ball things that I got from a charity shop. I think tonight I am going to start with the velvet scrunchie. Making myself cozy here. So I flip my head upside down, and then I sort of gently scoop my hair up into a ponytail at the front of my hair, making sure all the little bits at the back of my neck are put in. This is either called a pineapple or a willow, I believe, depending on your curl type. Then, I should have been more organised. I have demoed this in my video where I was playing with satin scarves, so this might look a bit familiar. So I've got my huge satin scarf here. This is just to show how big it really is. It's enormous. So I'm going to fold it into a triangle. I hope you guys can hear me as well. I'm trying not to talk too loudly because it is literally bedtime. Got the kids having a bedtime story in the next room. So I folded it into a big triangle. I'm then gonna put it on my head. Then I'm just gonna tie it, try and not tie my hair up in it. I've just looped it through the once, and I'm then going to so I tied it in a little slip knot thing. That just is purely because it makes it easier to take out in the morning. Then I move the camera up a little bit. So I'm currently at this fetching stage. Then I take the ponytail and I literally just shove it back into the scarf so it's nice and flat. I then take the tail end of the triangle and then just basically find an opening, so here, and I then pull it through. I have pulled out a tiny bit of hair there. Of course that would happen, but you can just sort of gently shove it in and then tuck it back in. So this is how I've been sleeping recently. It's relatively comfortable. It's weird
sort of how loud the satin is sort of around my ears. If I move it, it's quite loud, which is a little bit annoying. And as you can see behind me, I have my satin pillowcase that I sleep on. That just removes any sort of friction with the scarf. So I am now going to get ready for bed. This is how I'm going to sleep, and I will be back in the morning to show you guys how it lasts overnight and how comfortable it is to sleep, and then show you guys my morning ritual.
So it is currently 6:30 in the morning, more or less. You can see the clock behind me. I'm really bunged up because my hay fever is always really bad in the morning, and I'm very tired because my children are feral and don't sleep. Anyway, this is what we're dealing with. You can see I think it's because I had my sleep mask on last night. It sort of pushed the scarf up a bit higher than where it usually sits, but my hair is still more or less wrapped up. It's still protected. It's relatively comfortable. Obviously, it's not as comfortable as not having anything on my head at all, but it's not as tight as the sleep cap that I've tried to use, and it has stayed on better, and I think it protects my hair more than when I used to use a buff. So now I'm going to undo the little knot at the back of my scarf. I'll just unravel it. Sorry for these awful angles. It's too early. Here I am looking very Flashdance. Not sure why it always goes bigger on one side. So this is fresh out the scarf. You can see it's still pretty defined. There's not much frizz. There's a little bit of craziness on top, but my hair always is like this in the morning. So what I am going to do now is let it settle for a bit. I'm going to have the world's strongest cup of tea, put on some makeup, and then I will show you guys how I'm going to do a light refresh just to calm down some of the crazy a bit. Isn't it amazing what some caffeine and a bit of slap can do for a girl's face? Anyway, so I have not touched my hair. As you can see, it has settled. It's still a little bit crazy on top, so that's why I'm now going to refresh my hair, but it's not looking too bad. So I'm not going to do like a full wet refresh with brush styling and adding more products in that. All I've got is a little bit of water with one pump of my Lush all-in-one styler that you've seen me rave about. I find that is sort of my go-to ingredients if my hair just needs a little bit of freshening up without needing completely restyling. So first of all, I'm going to pick up the top layers, just chuck them to one side because I can't bother to dig out clips, and then I'm just giving it a light spritz and then smoothing my hands over the curls to smooth down the frizzies. Not that there are many. Oh, and then I'm just going to give it a gentle scrunch just to put the bounce back in. Then I will repeat that for the top layers. Spray, smooth, scrunch. There we go. That's how you remember how to do a quick refresh. You can already see the difference. So whilst I'm quickly doing this, I'm just going to ramble a little bit about how I felt last night. So like I said just now, I didn't sleep particularly well, but that's because I have 2 children who are allergic to sleep. So I was a bit sort of fidgety last night, and I had my sleep mask on because we have a street lamp right outside our window, so our bedroom, even with blackout curtains, is still quite bright. So if I feel like I'm not going to sleep very well, I will use the sleep mask And then I think that is why it was sort of starting to ride up a little bit at the back. So, speaking of the back, I better do the back of my hair. Yeah, but it was comfortable. That's part of the reason why I've stuck out using the scarf. And it wasn't too tight on my head, which is sort of the good thing about being able to tie it, is you can adjust the tightness. And as you saw when I first took it out, once it settled, there really wasn't much that I needed to do to it to get it back to sort of presentable curls like I've got now. So as you saw there, I've just sprayed it with my water and Lush all-in-one styler mixture. I am now just going to leave it. I've smoothed it down, given it a little scrunch. I'm not going to bother diffusing it or anything because I don't think it's wet enough and I don't want to start blowing it around. So that is my hair now done for the day. So that is the beauty of using the satin scarf to protect your hair. It's a bit fiddly to sort of get to grips with when you want to put it on, but once it's on, and particularly if you sleep on the satin pillowcase like me, it's like a sort of double layer of protection against friction. Then if you are starting from an okay hair day like I had yesterday, it does make your refresh a lot quicker the next day, because there, like I said, there isn't really much for me to do. It was just a case of taming the sort of halo frizz. So that was my video on how I protect my hair at night using a satin scarf. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Next week, I think I have another product review. It's the last of my sort of little haul that I got given by my friend. So don't miss out. So hit that subscribe button below, turn on notifications so you don't miss that. It's a gel. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you thought of this video. Drop a comment down. Give me your thoughts, how you protect your hair at night. Like this video, share, get it out there. I have noticed a slight increase in subscribers this week. So thank you and welcome, guys. I hope you're enjoying my content. I've had quite a few comments as well, which I'm chuffed at. Keep them coming. I love being able to answer anybody's questions. And so I will see you next week, guys. Bye. Love a good hair day. So I'm going to show you guys how I protect my hair at sleep now. And what else? One thing, I've got an eyelash in my eye, I think. I've got either an eyelash or a hair in my eye.